So I just had a really great phone call with one of the syndicate members, and something kind of got brought up in the conversation that I thought would be really useful for all of you guys to hear. And we were talking about royalties and the different amounts of checks you can get per placement, what you should be looking for in the long run, like what your goals should be. Should you be looking for those big home run placements only, and those are the only kind of companies you want to start licensing with? Or if somebody has some sort of background placements here and there that they can get your music placed in, are those worth it? Like basically, what's going to provide the best results long term, right? I can tell you guys confidently that my career, being able to do this full time, right, getting quarterly checks from BMI that are just going into my bank account every quarter, are 100% built upon probably $25 to $50 placements. That is my bread and butter. I have tons and tons of background cues that get placed in reality shows, documentaries, promos, commercials, TV shows, you name it. There are competition shows, whatever it is. That is the vast majority of the placements that I get. If you look at my royalty checks, it's 25, 50, 10, 40. It's just all under $100, most of the stuff that I'm getting, okay? Each one of them, not that impressive, $50, $25, even $5, $10, who cares, right? Well, who cares is when you start stacking up hundreds of those, right? 500 placements, thousands of placements that start stacking up over the course of your career. And a little $5 placement or $25 or $50 placement starts actually adding up into full-time income, okay? That is where I believe that my career has been sort of why I've been able to do this full-time. Now, I have nailed those pretty large, huge, multiple $1,000 placements. That one track, using only a couple of seconds of it, gets me $1,500 plus, et cetera, in the large, the high scale of what you can actually earn for placements. Not to mention the upfront sync fees I have earned as well, which is $5,000 plus for certain projects I've worked on. That stuff is sort of the home run of this business, and I'd always made this sort of kind of connection between, if you're a stock trader, that that you're only going to once in a while get something so right, that you pick the right stock at the right time and you bought it and then sold it at the right time, that you doubled or tripled or quadrupled your money. Those kind of trades are far and few between, and you get them when you get them and you're excited when they happen. But that's not how you have a career, right? You don't only look towards those big home run trades. You have to look for your bread and butter, which is just, all right, maintaining consistent profitability. Maybe today I only made 5% gain or a 10% gain on my stock portfolio, but I still made a gain, right? Or if I have a drawdown day where I don't make as much, or I lose some, that over the course of the month, I'm still positive. That's how you have a long-term career in any industry. Luckily, with the TV, film, music licensing, you're not going to be losing any money, okay? So there's no chance of you actually having a negative month. Maybe you don't make quite as much of a positive month or a positive quarter, but that's the difference between this and trading stocks, obviously. But I want you to get used to that idea that it's really not about luck. There's a lot of people that, they get started in the business and maybe they nail a theme song or some huge placement, and that one track earns them $10,000, $20,000 in their first year in this business. That's great. That didn't happen to me. It doesn't happen to most people that I know. And who cares if it doesn't happen to you, right? That's great for somebody if it does happen to them and they get that sort of huge leg up right away in the business. But for the rest of us that don't have that kind of luck, or maybe those kind of access, that access to get those kind of placements right off the bat, just focus on these $25 to $50 placements, right? Which could be a lot of background instrumental cues. And that's my whole world, is basically doing a lot of background instrumental tracks. Occasionally I'll nail something in the foreground or a feature track or something like that, and those are those big home run ones. But there's only so many placements, there's only so much space for that kind of music, that you don't want to be only focusing on that. And if there's a large use for background instrumental tracks, which there is, probably 70 to 80% of the music you're hearing on TV is in the background, not taking the spotlight and probably not making the big bucks, but making those small $25, $50 placements. That's how you succeed, right? And in order to get that money to build up over the long run, you have to build a catalog, right? That's why I've always said persistence is really 9/10 of what it takes to do well in this business. So many people start for 6 months or a year. They can build up a couple of albums. Maybe they get 24, 36 tracks into the system. And then the next year, because they don't see the royalties right away, they just say, well, this is just a waste of time. I just wasted a whole year. It's how I felt. I spent about a year and a half before I even saw my first royalty check, which was basically 14 cents. That doesn't feel good after a year and a half of busting your ass and putting out a whole bunch of music and satisfying everybody's needs, and then finding out that you got 14 cents for it. So again, it's just one of those like thresholds of like, can you get past that initial point of like, you don't see a lot of money up front, but you keep going, you keep growing, you keep building. So I wanted to just share this fundamental knowledge and wisdom that I've gained in this business, that just because you don't nail some huge major placement in your first year, or maybe even 2 years in this business, do not give up. Because if I had given up, again, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I love $25 and $50 placements. I'll take those every day, every quarter for the rest of my life. Those are awesome because you stack up enough of those and you got yourself a full-time income. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today.